What's up, guys? Just a little update on my little Monarch Butterfly project. I'm down here at the milkweed here, where I've been finding so many of them. I have now had to have probably captured and raised probably close to 50 Monarch caterpillars now. I'm releasing butterflies almost every single day. And I'm still getting, as of yesterday, I'm still getting adults flying in through this and laying eggs on it, which is kind of really weird. I thought this was a little bit late, but apparently it's not. Just to give you an idea, let's see if I can find what I was looking for here. I still have caterpillars on this milkweed here. Give you rough idea of the different sizes. Okay, so we've got one here which is about medium size, and you see they just sit there and eat the milkweed, and you see how ratty the leaves are. If you look on this milkweed, there is ratty leaves all over the place. Now I've been here's a half of one right here. I've been pulling caterpillars off of here and bringing them upstairs into my little enclosure and raising the butterflies out. I just saw a big one over here. Let's see. Oh, here he is. I can see his antennas right there. It's a little drizzly right now, so they're kind of hiding underneath the leaves, but as you can see, this guy is just about ready to turn. He will probably eat for another day, maybe not. He'll wander off somewhere, but I'm probably going to take him up to the tank too. They'll wander off and they will turn into a chrysalis, and I've actually found my first chrysalis outside of a caterpillar that I haven't I didn't capture him as a caterpillar, and he turned into a chrysalis all by himself. I'm still looking to see here. I have noticed there's still little baby tiny little caterpillars that are still hatching. They're hatching out because the butterflies are still laying eggs on them. I've seen them this week. Let's see here. Let's see if I got any small ones. But like I said, I've had to capture at least maybe 50 of them on these on this milkweed already. I'm running out of big leaves here now to feed them. So I'm starting to take some of these ratty leaves and feed them with that. They don't care. But anyway, so you saw a couple of, at least the two big ones. There's that medium one there, and then right here is your big fat one. And then, you know, they get to be like maybe pinky size there. Let's see. And these are safe too if, you know, there's certain caterpillars that you can't touch because they're fuzzy. As a matter of fact, I see a fuzzy one in here, and I'm not exactly sure what that is, so I'm not going to play with them, because certain fuzzy caterpillars, they can make you break out into a rash or something. But the monarchs are perfectly harmless. You can pick them up and they're not going to bother you. This is a great project to do with your kids or something if you want to do a little educational thing. You know, you start finding these caterpillars out on the milkweed, and you bring them in, you put them in a small tank. As long as you make sure that you're giving them fresh leaves every day, they will go from a smaller size to this size, and they will climb up. They'll go into a chrysalis, and in about 2 weeks you'll have an adult butterfly emerge. And then as soon as you see the butterfly emerge, I keep an eye on my tanks every morning. I take a look at it, and if there's a butterfly in there, I take it outside and release it. Let's tell you, I found a chrysalis here. This brick sitting here, if you look underneath here, hanging right there, that's a Monarch Chrysalis. Now I have these all over my cage upstairs, but this one is outside, and I've actually never found one outside before, but we just found this one today, so it's pretty cool. They'll wander away from the plant, and they'll find a place, they'll change into a chrysalis, and you know, they'll emerge later on. There's another one of these fuzzy ones right here, and Like I said, I'm not sure if that's some type of moth, because there are other caterpillars that eat this stuff, but I'm mostly, I'm only interested in the monarchs. But as you can see, there's lots of little holes in the leaves. This is where a lot of times the smaller caterpillars, they'll start eating the leaf from the right in the center there. And let's see, we got anything? I'm not seeing any real small, tiny caterpillars yet. But I know they're on here, because like I said, all during the week I've been watching adults laying eggs on these leaves still. But alright, let me, I'll pause this, I'll take this upstairs, I'll show you the 2 tanks that I have set up. And I don't have any adult butterflies right now, but we will soon. And I'll try to get one of those on film for you. This is another type of milkweed. It's called butterfly weed, but it's in the milkweed family. This is the only plant that your butterflies, or that your monarchs, can eat. So the adults will only lay eggs on something that's in the milkweed family. So you have this butterfly weed, which is a milkweed, and the regular wild, whatever they call this, regular milkweed. I plant this every year. This is the first year that I have gotten this many monarchs in one season. Like I said, we're probably looking at least 50 that I've already raised and hatched, and I've let go a bunch of adult butterflies already, and still doing it. And these monarchs will emerge as full-grown adults, and these guys will travel down to Mexico, where they overwinter. These guys will make the trip. The butterflies that are laying the eggs now, and the ones that we've seen here in the summertime, they don't have a very long lifespan. They eat, they breed, and they lay eggs, and then they die. The generation that makes the long flight down to Mexico will go down there, overwinter, and then on their journey back north, they will come up through the southern states, they will lay eggs, and they'll die, and then the next generation will make the trip back up north. And they'll come up here and live during the summer and start the process all over again. But alright, let me show you my tank upstairs of how many chrysalises and how many have hatched already. And we'll leave this guy go for right now. Maybe I'll collect him later. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, this is my tank setup. My sister actually came and got another tank and switched some of the caterpillars in there. She told me that she just put a few more in there, and the tiny ones that I was looking for, there's one, let's see, I could see him, there he is, right there at the tip of my finger. So you can see how tiny he is compared to the almost fully grown one. And if you look at this tank, I've got some full ones in there, and you can see chrysalises. There's one there, but if I go up here and look, I know it's hard through the glass, but you see all those chrysalises up there. And I've actually got a third tank that's full of them. There's these ones that are in a J right here. They're going to turn pretty soon. But as you can see, there are chrysalises, and you can see there's an empty one right here. That one's one that emerged. And I just found out I wasn't home, and like I said, my sister stopped over. She released a monarch that had hatched in this. It came out, it emerged as an adult, and they brought it out to the porch to leave, and it's still here. I guess it's too cloudy for it or what, but it's still here. So here's a full-grown adult monarch ready to make the trip, and he'll go on his way when he feels like it. They'll stay like this, laying down or just hanging around for a little bit until their wings are completely dry, and then they'll make their first flight. So, but anyway, like I said, this is the setup, and as long the key, the important thing here is that you need to get fresh milkweed leaves, sometimes twice a day. I'll take 3 or 4 leaves and put them in there, and they will move from the older stuff to the newer leaves But sometimes I'll just take them, and like you see this one, this leaf is completely skeletonized, and there's a guy sitting up there. Now, if I see that, he's actually still eating on a leaf right there, so he's good. But if I see that and they're not eating, I'll take them off of there and just put them on a fresh leaf. But you change these leaves, like I said, every day. Make sure that you have fresh milkweed leaves, and they will continue to grow. They'll get fat. They'll climb up to the top of the cage, and you'll see them attach themselves. Let's see if I can get it without the glare for you. They'll attach themselves up to the top of the cage. There's one right there, and here's another one. And after they stay in that little J posture that they're in there, they'll turn into a chrysalis. And as you can see right there in the center, on the right there, right next to this caterpillar, there is one that emerged. It's probably the one I just showed you. It's already come out and emerge as a butterfly. They'll come out with their wings all crinkled up, and they'll stay there for a while, and their wings will slowly expand, and they'll be ready to fly. So I would leave them in there for a couple of hours after you see them emerge before you try to take them out, and then take them directly outside and let them make their first flight. Let them let them release. You might see them land somewhere and they'll be fine, but as long as they get outside, they can find a nectar source and begin to feed to make the trip. But as you can see, there's a whole bunch of chrysalises in there. Now, when they're ready to emerge, it takes about 2 weeks after they turn into that green chrysalis. Maybe 10 days or so, maybe 2 weeks. But once you'll see them turn green like that, and it'll just be there for a while, and you don't have to do anything with it, just leave them alone. And the chrysalis will start turning clear, or it'll turn black. And when you can actually see the coloring of the wings, you'll see this orange and black spots inside the chrysalis there, the orange, black, and white. You'll actually see that inside the chrysalis, and that means that butterfly will probably hatch within the next day. So if you see that in your tank, then just be ready in the morning or in the early afternoon to let them out. So anyway, that's the update. That's what I do with the monarchs. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. Just a little project that I enjoy doing every year. Last year I didn't get to do it because I didn't find any of them. And I've heard that the monarch population really took a crash, and there's not that many of them. So this is kind of helping them out. When I put them in here and they all hatch like this, like I said, I've got probably a good 95% rate of actually raising them, watching them turn, and then turn into a butterfly. I think it gives them better odds than just being outside and where they'll get knocked off the milkweed by rain or whatever. I mean, a good majority of them are going to survive, but I enjoy watching them, and it's not hurting them to do this. There's nothing wrong with it, so why not enjoy the process? And like I said, it's a great little project if you have young kids or whatever. Go out and check the milkweed every day. Find the caterpillars, bring them into the house like this, and let the kids see the whole process. It's pretty educational for them, and they seem to enjoy it. I have a 3-year-old nephew who just loves sitting in there and watching the caterpillars. And he's really happy when he gets a butterfly out, so we take him over and let him see the whole process. But alright, any questions, comments, leave them below. Thanks again for watching. It's a little bit different than my normal videos. I usually do metal detecting videos and Native American artifacts, but this is just something different. So alright guys, thanks a lot. See you on the next video.